Hello friends, myself Dr. Nandakumar Rao Bawale from College of Engineering Ambazogai is going to deal with applied thermodynamics. In previous lecture, we have discussed the numericals on drought produced by chimney, natural drought. So today we will look into the last bit of this unit number 2, where we will look into history of IBR, IBR regulations, scope of IBR, IBR and non-IBR boilers, advantages of IBR boiler, advantages of a non-IBR boiler. So initially there was a boiler explosion occurred in Calcutta in the year 1863, and that had become the origin for IBR regulations, Indian boiler regulations, IBR. So that created necessity of the boiler regulation, and which enforced the governments in existence to develop the law in regard with the boilers operating in the industries. The bill was passed by Bengal Council in the year 1864 in regard to inspection of steam boilers and installation of steam boilers in and around the city Calcutta. The country decided to form a uniform set of regulations. Afterwards, the British government, which was ruling India, thought that it is necessary to form a set of regulations which will be uniformly implemented throughout the nation, and they enacted Indian Boiler Act 1923 in the year 1923. So the Indian Boiler Act, which was enacted in the year 1923, was covering inspection and conditions for boiler material procurement. So if a boiler is to be installed or a boiler is in working condition, then the regulations for inspection of a working boiler or at the time of the boiler which was installed was covered. At the same time, the rules and regulations or conditions were introduced while using the material for manufacturing of a boiler. The Central Boiler Board was formed. So this resulted into formation of Central Boiler Board by the amendment of 1937. Amendment means the modification in the law was made in the year 1937 before independence of India. Thereafterwards, the government of India after independence thought that there is need to modify this act, Indian Boiler Regulation Act, to introduce certain provisions. Government of India modified this act, the Indian Boiler Act 1923, and formed Indian Boiler Regulation Act 1950, and this act is now in existence. So why this IBR, Indian Boiler Regulation Act, is necessary? To monitor manufacturing of boiler, as the boiler is the device which is subjected to very high pressure, as we have studied. So this boiler is subjected to very high pressure and temperature, and there is every chance that the boiler may get exploded if inferior quality of material is used, if it is not maintained properly, or design of boiler is not proper. Then the boiler may explode early and may cause a damage to the property as well as life of people working around the boiler. Therefore, it was necessary to monitor manufacturing of boiler. Then selection of material is also one of the important factor which is responsible for explosion of a boiler. If the material used is of inferior quality, then there is a chance of explosion of a boiler. Therefore, it is necessary to monitor selection of material which is being used for manufacturing of boiler. Then at the same time, design of boiler, not only boiler, the components working at high pressure along with the boiler is also important factor. If design of boiler and the components working along with the boiler is poor, then the boiler may not work properly and may cause a damage or may explode. Or the components working along with the boiler, if are designed poor, then they may not withstand high pressure and high temperature steam, and there is a chance of leakage or explosion. So here this IBR is required to avoid potential accidents. So the accidents which may happen in future are known as potential accidents. To avoid the potential accidents, this IBR, need of IBR was there. To avoid lost property and life. So main aim is to avoid loss to the property and life of people working around the boiler is essential. So here the IBR was required to avoid this loss because of accidents occurring because of high pressure devices known as boiler was necessary. IBR is also required to abide with environmental norms. So here the environmental norms, a boiler which is to be installed is going to create pollution and all. So here the properly designed boilers may produce less pollution, and for that also IBR was required. The Indian Boiler Regulations, IBR, stands for Indian Boiler Act or regulation. It is the act enacted by Government of India. It is the act enacted by Government of India. The IBR Act governs manufacturing of boiler, installation of boiler, operation of steam boilers. So IBR is not only approval once a certain type of design is approved. So for example, a boiler is designed and then it is approved once, so that can be continued without any alterations in the design. If there is an alteration, then a re-approval is required. So a minor alteration in the design of a boiler requires approval from IBR. If a specific approval for each and every unit. So it is a specific approval for each and every unit, means if we are using a boiler, manufacturing a boiler or installing a boiler, so IBR has to approve each and every component such as economizer, boiler walls, everything has to be approved. Each boiler, every wall, every trap, every pipe has to be approved by the IBR authorities. So anything that is used without IBR approval is not valid and is having actionable claims over such use of devices which are not approved by IBR. So the components which are working along with the boiler at high pressure and high temperature have to be approved by the proper authority. So the Indian Boiler Regulation Act defines anything connected to boiler system, to be governed under IBR Act, such as boiler mountings, steam distribution pipes, walls, traps, strainers. Boiler mountings and accessories has to be covered here, but not all accessories. Few of the accessories have to be covered. Then boiler as per IBR. What is a boiler according to IBR? which boiler we call as IBR boiler. So, there are many boilers which are used in industry, but some of the boilers are not covered by IBR. So steam producing vessel, a boiler according to IBR is a steam producing vessel having capacity more than 35 liters is a boiler. So if a pressure device produces steam at the rate of 35 liters, if it uses 35 liters per hour, sorry 25 liters per hour of water, then we call that boiler as a IBR boiler. IBR boiler means a closed vessel exceeding 25 liters capacity. It is used expressively for generating steam under pressure. So the pressure which is generated is above 3.5 kg per centimeter square. So this is the pressure. If the pressure is above 3.5 kg per centimeter square, then that boiler is called as a high pressure boiler. It includes boiler mountings and other fittings also. So IBR boiler includes boiler mounting and other fittings such as walls and all, which is wholly or partly under pressure when steam is shut off. If steam generation is set off, even then the pressure it has to withstand this pressure wholly or partly. Then that component is known as a IBR boiler. Boiler producing steam at a pressure below 3.5 kg is a non-IBR boiler. If a boiler is producing steam at the pressure below 3.5 kg per centimeter square, then it is not called as a IBR boiler. So that is called as a non-IBR boiler, to which the IBR regulations are not applicable. The scope of IBR. What is covered under the Act IBR? IBR covers the design, fabrication, inspection, testing and certification of boilers, such as boilers or any boiler part including feed piping, fittings or vessel attached. So this covers all the things which are in connection or working along with the boiler. The boiler part including feed pipe. So the water which is the water pipe which is supplying feed water to the boiler is known as feed piping. That piping is also considered under the IBR because the feed water has to be supplied to the boiler at very high pressure. That is nothing but it has to be supplied at boiler pressure itself. Therefore that piping is also considered under IBR. Fittings such as walls and all, vessel attachments, anything that is attached to the boiler shell, maybe a pressure gauge, that is also covered under IBR. Boiler components, any other components working along with the boiler or fitted over the boiler. Then steam piping, the pipe which is carrying steam starting from steam stop valve to the final use of steam, that is also included in IBR. Feed piping already we have discussed. Economizer is covered in this because the water which is supplied through economizer enters into the boiler which is at the high pressure. That is nothing but a feed water is passed through the economizer in order to extract heat, and that feed water is to be supplied at very high pressure. Therefore economizer is also covered under IBR. Superheater, this component is going to carry a very high temperature and high pressure steam. Therefore superheater is also covered under IBR. The walls including safety wall, so all type of safety walls which are mounted over the boiler as a boiler mounting are also covered into the IBR, for which boiler certification or certification from IBR is required. Any mounting or fitting, or any external or internal part of boiler which is subjected to pressure exceeding 3.5 kg per centimeter square gauge. This is a gauge pressure. If any component working along with the boiler is subjected to the pressure more than 3.5 kg per centimeter square gauge pressure, then that part is covered under this IBR, for which a proper certification through IBR authorities is required. steam receivers, separators, steam traps, accumulators, and similar vessels are covered. There can be heat exchangers, converters, evaporators, or similar vessels in which steam is generated. So anything where steam is generated is also covered under IBR. If we say that this is simply heat exchanger and is not a boiler and it is not covered under IBR, we cannot say. If a heat exchanger is working at high pressure above 3.5 kg per centimeter square gauge pressure, and that heat exchanger is also included in this IBR. Then materials: forging, casting, tubes, pipes, plates, welding, and consumables which are used to manufacture this boiler are covered under IBR law. So what this IBR certification for material is: any manufacturer who ever wants to manufacture a boiler or components of boiler and wishing that to send that material or components to India, they need certification. Not only the foreign manufacturers, but it includes Indian manufacturers. So if any Indian manufacturer wants to manufacture the parts of a boiler or a boiler, then they also need to get certification of IBR and manufacture such components and supply into the market. Inspecting authority: who is having authority to inspect boiler? Any agency recognized by Central Boiler Board. So Central Boiler Board is established by Government of India, and the authority recognized, CBB is going to recognize authority, a person or agency, to do inspection of IBR, and that agency only can do inspection or certification of a boiler. So any agency which is recognized by CBB as IBR certifying authority, so they only have the authority to issue the certificate. Inspecting authorities are required to sign off on many parts of IBR certification processes. So these authorities, inspecting authorities or certifying authorities, are appointed by CBB or chosen by CBB, and they have to sign off on many parts of IBR certification process. So they have to do inspection and then they have to sign over the such certificates. They are heavily scrutinized by the Indian government. So at the time of appointing such authorities, Government of India is going to take their scrutiny, or they are going to verify their qualification, and after examining them, Government of India is going to appoint such authorities to inspect the boiler. Inspecting authorities are given certificates indicating their approval. So once a authority is approved by Government of India, then Government of India is going to issue them certificate that so and so person, so and so agency is authorized to approve the or certify the boilers. So anybody cannot certify the boilers as a mechanical engineer. So whatsoever may be your degree, you cannot approve any boiler. First you have to get the certificate from CBB, then only you will be eligible to certify the boilers, not to inspect the boilers. Competent authority: an institution recognized. Who is competent authority to give certificate? So any institution or organization in such manner as may be prescribed by regulations for issue of certificate. So it is provided or specified in the regulations to whom they can authorize as per the law specified in the act. The issuing authority or certificate issuing authority is appointed. Every item used in boiler system has to be manufactured, tested, installed, operated and maintained under supervision of local boiler inspector. So when you want to manufacture, or when you want to test, when you want to install, when you want to operate, or when you want to do maintenance of a boiler, so that is to be made under supervision of local boiler inspector. So boiler inspectors are appointed Those boiler inspectors will play a very important role in manufacturing, testing and installation as well as operation and maintenance of boilers. So these inspectors have to certify the boilers even after installation. Every year boiler inspection has to be made, and that is through local boiler inspector. Advantages of IBR boiler. What are the advantages of IBR boiler? If a boiler you have installed under the certification of IBR, then there is no risk of explosion because it is thoroughly inspected and then only it is certified as a IBR boiler. So there is no risk of explosion because it is certified and uh, follows the norms of IBR, manufactured from IBR materials. So such boilers are manufactured from IBR materials and follow the all norms of IBR. Therefore, there is no risk of explosion. That means those boilers are verified under the IBR Act, and when these boilers fulfill all requirements of IBR, then only such boilers are certified. Therefore, there is very less risk of explosion and there is legal compliance. Ensures peace of mind. If you are going to install a boiler which is certified by IBR, then that ensures peace of mind. So there will not be any kind of threat in your mind that somebody will come and raid your industry that you are using a non-IBR boiler. And even if uh, any accident occurs, then also you will not be held that responsible as if you are going to install a non-IBR boiler. Longer tube life and lesser breakdown. If you are using a standard IBR boiler, then life of tubes is longer as well as very less times or sometimes the boiler is going to have the breakdown or it will stop working. Therefore, continuous working of boiler can be assured. So there is a safety assurance, government certified third party inspection. So here the boiler is inspected by third party and then only it is certified. So that is nothing but some kind of assurance against the safety of a boiler. Therefore, these are the certain advantages of using IBR boiler. So now, what are the advantages of using non-IBR boiler? Only in the conditions if the working pressure is below 3.5 kg per centimeter square, we go for non-IBR boiler. So such boilers are outside the purview of IBR. So these boilers are not covered by the IBR Act. Therefore, you need not to go for the certification and the lengthy process of boiler certification as well as inspection. No regulation of boiler required at the site. So no registration. So if the boiler is working at low pressure and if it is a non-IBR boiler, then registration of such boiler is not required. If it is a IBR boiler, then it is required to certify boiler at the site after installation or at the time of installation of such boiler. Ease of operation and maintenance. So if the boiler is non-IBR boiler, it is a very simple and ordinary boiler which is producing steam at pressure less than 3.5 kg per centimeter square. Therefore, the working as well as maintenance of that boiler is simple and easy. So now, with this, what I can say is I have covered the unit number 2, steam generators, wherein we have studied classification of boiler, boiler details, requirement of a good boiler, what a good boiler should consist, merit and demerits of fire tube and water tube boiler, then boiler mountings and accessories, so such as boiler mountings, walls, pressure gauge, water level indicator, manhole, and all these are boiler mountings, whereas boiler accessories are the economizer, air preheater, superheater. So all these things we have studied. Then we studied about boiler draught, classification of boiler draught, natural draught, efficiency of chimney, draught losses, types of boiler draught also we have covered. Then we covered the evaporation, equivalent evaporation, boiler efficiency, boiler trial and heat balancing, and today we have discussed about IBR also. So at this stage, I can say that I have covered all the things which are specified under Unit 2 by the name steam generators. I hope you have followed this unit number 2.